Well, hello everyone. The Ontario Gardener here, back with another PlateUp automation tutorial. Now, what you see before you is pretty much the gold standard in automating serving and automating dishes. Now, I played through this run. This is using the Blarg map, B-L-A-R-G-H map. Map I played many times. You can use this map. Anybody can use this one. You go into your, the potted plant that's in your main lobby of the game, the main part there where you choose your seed and everything. Plug in B-L-A-R-G-H, Blarg, and you'll get this exact map. Now, I picked hamburgers. And if you do hamburgers, I'm on OT day 1. So if you do hamburgers, these are the cards that I've chosen. Tipping culture, affordable. Affordable is really good. It was either affordable or formal. But affordable is great here because you don't have the delivery phase. I'll get into that in a minute. High standards, Victorian standards, and Morning Rush, which are all great for this type of serving. They're all free cards. Now, let's get into the automation. So what you see before you is basically, it's in block form, if that makes sense. So follow my mouse here. I have 4 tables. You could set this up with 2 tables if you want, 3 tables, 4 tables. If you guys are getting into 5 tables, it gets a bit wonky because of the way the doorway is set up. But again, the concept is the same. You want to have your input, again, the conveyors. These could be conveyors because they'll push into or pull from each other, push into each other. And then you have a couple grabbers here, and then I'm going to get into the whole system in a second. But the main parts are here. You need to have a feed line that are perpendicular or not feeding into a table. So alongside of it, I guess it would be, alongside of it, I guess is the way we would say it. And then you have your dish removal pulling off of where your numbered plate is. Now, you could have this here, but the problem with that is you're going to only be left with one chair. Now, this map so far, like I said, does not have individual dining, so you have to do it like this. If you had individual dining, you could just get away with 1 table because the chairs would be where this one is. The numbered table would be here, obviously, and then they would sit, kind of where these chairs would be, just here, if you're following my mouse on the left. Now, so you have to have a feed-in line, which is where the plated burgers will come in and sit, and you have to have a dish line. So let's do the line down here first. I can walk down here with my character. The frozen prep is something that's not used at the moment. It's something that you could incorporate into this, which I'll show you in a second here. So basically, to automate burgers is very simple. You need to have your buns, your meat patties, grabbers. One goes to the combiner, the buns, and you have your meat going to the hob. Now, again, you could use any hob you want here. I'm using a Danger hob because it's faster. It's the fastest of any cooking device in the game as far as that's automatable. You can't, oven is only 2.0 speed, but oven isn't. You can't automate ovens because you have to shut and open the door. So that's not going to work in something like this. And then here's something that some people will disagree with, but I fully do agree with, is having a small grabber set to cooked burgers with a patty coming off the Danger hob. Because if not, what's going to happen is it'll pull off cooked patties until it backs up. It's some kind of weird glitch where it won't plate it in time or it won't bun it in time before the grabber grabs it. So using a smart grabber would be great. But if you're at this stage of automation, you should have smart grabbers, really. And for this, most of this here, you could use all smart grabbers for. You wouldn't want to use smart grabbers for the tables because just in case something gets reset accidentally, there's no way to get it unless you have an opening to get out. Now, in this map, where the dishes come through, that's where the doorway is. So there's no way to get out of this map. You can go around the top, I guess, if you don't have items up here. But nonetheless, you don't want to mess with that. Now, this is going into a counter. Do you need a counter? Debatable. I say yes because you need something for the plate to push onto. The plate can push onto this, but this will be reset by this. Because smart grabbers will be reset by other things pushing into them, like another grabber. So for me, using a counter here, this could be a freezer. It could be a freezer as well, or it doesn't matter. Counter or freezer, or anything that will actually hold. You could have a mixer here. It doesn't really matter. Anything that'll hold something that's combinable. And then the other key here is to have an autoplater. You need an autoplater to actually plate everything that's being cooked. And then you have to have a smart grabber. After that, again, do you need it? I will say yes, because then you won't get messed up. And this is where having the 2 smart grabbers, one pulling the burgers that are bunned onto the counter, waiting for the plate, and then this is pulling the burger with the bun with the plate. and then you have your other grabber over here at the bottom, and then going into your corner grabber going this way. Now again, you could get away with not using corner grabbers. You just have to have this grabber facing this way. But again, corner grabbers are in the game, and at this type of automation, you likely have corner grabbers ready. Now the opposite end is the dishes. The dishes will come off automatically, and I'm using this is my gold standard, my setup that I came up with back when corner grabbers first came out. And if you use corner grabbers pointing, let's use my mouse, pointing, you have to have it feeding in from the top, pointing into here, into here, into here. These grabbers will pull off of this corner, and so on and so forth. Same thing where it comes out here is it'll pull out and it'll push it. It'll push out, pull, push out, pull, push out, pull, and all the way down back into your auto plate. Now you may say, okay, well that's great, but you need more than 2 plates. Yes, you do. Again, if you have a smaller setup or you're not running through customers as fast with something like a phone and ordering terminal, you don't need more. You could get away with probably the starter stack, which is 4, and these, which would be 6. But for this setup, I'm going to show you this running with 28 groups. So that could be potentially 50 some customers. Right now I'm on OT day 1, and I have 24 plus 4 because I have morning rush cards, the morning rush card, and this system keeps up with it. But you need to have at least 1 plate stack, preferably 2, because if you have 2, it'll saturate everything here to where you're actually out of plates and you're waiting for a burger here. Now again, this is another reason why you want to have a smart grabber pulling from this, because if this is a regular grabber, as soon as this hits this, if there's not a plate here, it'll pull the unplated burger and it'll sit down here, and this table will never be able to get its food, because tables will not pull from corners. They have to pull from what's like adjacent to it. It won't pull from a corner grabber. It has to be straight across or along. It has to be along the side of it. It won't pull from corner to corner. See where my mouse is here. Now, one thing that I totally forgot about is I bought the last tier. Actually, I don't have to do this now. I can do this a different way, just to show you guys how this actually works from one thing to the next. So let's just get that set up right now. And then I'll show you what happens. Oh, there's a bin there. I'll move some of this. You can't see this stuff up here. Well, you can a little bit. I'm going to move some of these things out of the way, because I want to show you how you do this when you have, if you don't have affordable. So I'm actually going to get rid of, let's see, how do I get rid of this? I can get rid of this way. I'm going to get rid of this bin, because that'll drop my, there we go. Let's put this outside. Because this will drop, you can't see this, I have it cut off the screen, but this will drop my tier 3 affordable DAC down to a tier 2. Now affordable, so I'm going to put this one in here. We'll save this for tomorrow, because I want to show you how to do this. Whether you have, if you don't have the affordable buff, then this is the way you're going to be doing it. If you're playing on a different map, and then I'll show you if you have the affordable tier 3 buff, because the affordable tier 3 buff, the Deco tier 3 buff, is it has the eating time, but there's no delivery phase. And delivery phase comes into play when you have 2 or more people sitting at a table, because once you plate the one, or you have to serve the one, you have that secondary meter that has like the dome with someone's hand under it, and that's the delivery phase. So if you have no delivery phase, it sits at the eating phase, or the waiting to eat phase, I guess you could call it. So which basically negates having to have 2 burgers ready to go for one table that has 2 or more customers. Again, if you have individual dining, this does not apply at all, because you can call everybody. It doesn't matter, because there is no delivery phase in a sense when you have individual dining, because they won't take their order until the burger's there. They'll just have their waiting phase. So let's run through a day here. Again, I have 24 plus 4. I'm not going to go real fast. Now again, excuse me, if you don't have individual dining, you have to, or excuse me, if you don't have instant ordering, you have to use an ordering terminal, unless you have someone standing out here, or you go out here, you start this up. This is fully automatic. You walk out here in this map, for instance, and you take everybody's order, which is, you could do, but that's not automated really. So this is an ordering terminal where you interact with it when a customer sits down at the table, take their order, which basically mimics instant ordering. Unfortunately, I played this to OT day 1, and there's no instant ordering card yet. If you have instant ordering, then using this terminal is irrelevant, because it won't help you. And then I'll talk about using the phone and about being careful with using the phone. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Excuse me. So we're going to do some ringing, as you see here. Again, I'm at OTA day 1, so I'm having 11 coins. Now you see all the burgers coming in. It looks like it's cutting off the screen a little bit, so let me fix that really quickly for you guys. Then I can get back to showing. I didn't think it would cut off the screen like that. There we go. Perfect. Let's just move this over. There we go. We adapt as we go. Now, people are waiting outside, so I'm going to start taking orders here. So you see what happened there. Everybody got their food. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is when someone sits down, boom, it takes a random person to order. Look at the table at the third down. There, there, there. And then this one, see how there's now a delivery phase for the second person? There you go. So you have to make sure that you're not ordering too fast for the burgers that are coming in. Because if you run out of thinking like of your delivery phase timer, you will lose because that timer goes down very, very fast. I'm going to see if I can mimic it a little bit here. See, there it goes down a little bit. I want to see if I can mimic because we do have a bit of a backup here. Again, if you have individual dining, this it's irrelevant. This what I'm saying is irrelevant. Let's call a bunch more in. And as you see, we're just at the realm now of running out of plates. But as you see, everything's backed up. So it doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep calling because we don't have any double orders here. I'm going to get through all these. And we could run another day too. But the gist of it is fine. Is once you get to it, you eventually will get to a stage of you can't call people fast enough because they'll be waiting outside. And the burgers will be backed up. It's just that initial phase, for initial maybe minute or 30 seconds into the run, into the day, where you have to be careful with calling. But again, you can call everybody. If you have coffee tables, you're fine. If you have exclusive tier buffs. So you see here, I can't mimic it now, but you see the delivery phase there. There's a slight delivery fees delay because again, the burgers cannot be pulled off of the end of a corner of a table. It has to be the end of a table. But what I want to do is I want to unlock now the tier 3 buff. Whoops, of affordable. Let's put that right there. Where can I put it? There you go. Now, this has no delivery phase, so it basically acts as instant ordering and also somewhat of individual dining in the sense of you don't have to wait for the second order to come through. So let's just buzz through one more day, and you can push this too far. If you, like right now, I have no coffee tables. So I'm calling in a bunch of people. And you see in the beginning, you have the initial slowdown. Now here again, you see how there's no delivery phase? When I call in these orders, even with the double tables, that's where your affordable tier 3 buff comes in. And right now I have a huge line outside, so I got to be a little bit careful here. Because you can overwhelm this system. See the table at the end there? They're waiting, but there's no delivery phase with affordable tier 3. Now look at that table at the end. So here's where you got to be careful. I have a line outside. You can't see it, but there is. But I got to wait till the end, that last person gets served before I start smacking orders. Because conveyor belts can only run so fast, table clearing can only run so fast, etc., etc. But now the next thing you might be thinking is, okay, well, why are the customers sitting down at the tables when there's plates on them? Well, here's the beauty with that. Is a plate in motion does not count as the same entity as a plate that's stationary. So the plate that's moving at the bottom of the screen going up there, someone will sit at any of those tables because that is a moving object. So it's maybe coded or it's set up differently than something that's actually on the table that's like a separate item. Now again, I called a bunch of people and I got a line out front. You can't see it. I'm just going to cut off that because that's not what's important. But now we're backed up. So now what we're limited with now is how fast people can come in and eat, basically, because we have everybody, everything's full here. But again, you're always limited with how fast the customers move. They have a standard eating, sitting down, eating, standing up and leaving timer or phase that you can't really mess with that much. And then the biggest thing for this is the speed of the conveyors, grabbers, etc. It's all the same speed. I don't know what the speed would be if you would give it a number. I don't know. But that's what I find you're limited with when it comes to runs like this where you're doing full automation, is how fast can the grabbers or the conveyors move the items from one table to the next. And sometimes it's really slow, really. But as you see here, though, that we were just rudely interrupted, is the fact that 4 soaking sinks can easily handle as much calling or as much, activity as you can throw at it. Right now we're OT day 3. We can play through one more day just to get through it here. But you know what? I think we've seen enough. You get the gist of it. And this is basically how to use an automated system. You have to have soaking sinks. Again, you can build on this. This is a block progression, as I say. You could start off with a couple soaking sinks, a couple tables, a couple grabbers, and you could automate it. If anything, automate the removal of dishes first, because you could push these. You could push these tables right along here. You could manually serve them all the food, and if you have this part of the operation set up first, that's the hardest part, because making burgers is easy. You could auto go boop 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 boop. It's easy to do that, but dishes are where, in my opinion, runs are lost with dishes. At least for me, because I like to go fast, But certain things have set speeds, but having 3 or 4 of these will easily keep up. Basically, having one per table will keep up with a system like this. The only slowdown that you have is the speed that the conveyors and the grabbers actually move items through, like the tables, or move items to from one to the other. That's your biggest hiccup here. It's not the speed of anything else. It's just the speed, which is a standard set thing of grabbers and conveyor belts. They can only run so fast, and that's where you're kind of limited. But anyway, guys, this has been a bit of a long one here, a bit of a long kind of tutorial, but I felt the need to show you and explain to you why I set this up like this. Now, again, you could use this for any dish, really. Any dish where you don't have sides, or like you have just a standard setup. This could be used for hot dogs, minus the ketchup mustard business. For hot dogs, this could be used for any main dish. Like it could be used for steak pies. It can be used for breakfast with no toppings. Anything like that. That's the main dish. Now, fish, no, because you always have 2 fish. Steaks, no, because there's doneness. Salads, no. Stir fry, no. So there may be a few of them you can't. Pizza, you could. You have to throw a portioner in here, but that doesn't take very much to do that. So anyway, this is basically my auto setup for serving food and removal and washing of dishes. I know it's been a long one, but thank you guys for sticking around. I think it was worth the wait. I like to describe things in detail, why I set things up the way I do, and that's exactly what I did today. So thank you guys so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving me a like as well as a comment. And if you're enjoying the content on my channel, please consider leaving me a subscribe. It would really help me out to help me reach my next goal. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll catch you again in the next automation tutorial. Take care now.